Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin, let me ask you one simple question. Are you living your life, or is life simply happening to you? Because the difference between those who merely exist and those who truly win is just a few principles. Today, I want to share with you 5 rules to win in life. Life is not about running behind success. It is about growing into the person who naturally attracts success. Discipline is the silent force that shapes destinies, the invisible foundation beneath every great achievement. It is not loud, it does not boast, it does not demand attention. Yet it is the reason behind every success story we admire. Many people wait for motivation, believing that inspiration will strike and push them into action. But motivation is temporary. It rises and falls like waves. Discipline is steady. Discipline is the decision to act, even when the excitement is gone, even when no one is watching, even when the situation becomes difficult or confusing. It is the ability to prioritize what you want in the long run over what feels comfortable in the moment. Most people know exactly what they need to do. They know they should study, exercise, work on their goals, or improve themselves. But knowing is not enough. Action is what makes the difference. Discipline is the bridge between knowing and doing. The gap between potential and achievement is discipline. You can have talent, intelligence, dreams, and resources, but without discipline, none of them will bloom into results. Discipline is the act of showing up every day and putting in the work, even on the days when you feel tired, bored, or uninspired. It is important to understand that discipline is not about being harsh on yourself or removing joy from your life. It is about alignment. It is about aligning your daily choices with your bigger purpose. It is choosing to work on yourself instead of wasting time. It is choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Every time you choose discipline, you strengthen your character. Every time you delay a distraction and focus on your goals, you are building your future self. Discipline is the training ground where strength, wisdom, and maturity are developed. There will be moments when discipline feels difficult, when everything in you wants to quit or take the easy way out. That is where real growth happens. Growth does not happen when everything feels easy. Growth happens when you challenge your limits, when you continue even though quitting is tempting. Winners are not the ones who never feel like giving up. Winners are the ones who continue despite feeling like giving up. Discipline teaches resilience. It teaches patience. It teaches you that results do not come overnight, but they will come if you remain consistent. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your self-respect. But every time you keep a promise to yourself, even a small one, you build confidence and inner power. Discipline is the pathway to self-trust. When you become disciplined, you no longer depend on external motivation or validation. You become someone who leads yourself. You become self-directed, confident, focused, and grounded. That is where true strength lies, not in muscle, not in appearances, but in the control you have over your actions and decisions. Start small. You do not need to transform your life in one leap. Discipline grows with small, consistent steps. Wake up a little earlier. Read a few pages every day. Work on your goals for an hour. Practice a skill regularly. Over time, these habits accumulate into mastery. Small disciplines repeated consistently lead to big achievements. The results may not be visible immediately, but your future self will thank you for every bit of effort you invest today. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. When you discipline yourself today, you create a life tomorrow where you are not controlled by circumstances, fears, or impulses. You take charge of your life. You shape your destiny. And that is how you truly win. The mind is the most powerful instrument you possess. Yet for many people, it becomes their greatest barrier. Every step we take in life, every reaction we have, Every decision we make is rooted in the thoughts we allow to shape our emotions and actions. Mastering the mind does not mean stopping thoughts or avoiding challenges. It means gaining control over how you interpret, respond, and channel your thoughts. Your mind can either be the servant that supports your success or the master that holds you back. When the mind is untrained, it easily falls into fear, doubt, stress, anger, and confusion. But when it is trained, it becomes a source of clarity, strength, and direction. Most of the struggles we face in life do not come from the external world, but from the internal world we carry within ourselves. Two people can face the same situation and have completely different experiences based on the state of their mind. One sees failure and gives up. The other sees a challenge and grows stronger. The difference is not in circumstances. It is in mindset. The mind interprets reality, and therefore mastering it allows you to shape your reality from the inside out. Learning to master your mind begins with awareness. Become conscious of your thoughts. Notice when your mind shifts toward negativity, comparison, fear, or self-doubt. Most of the time, the mind acts like an automatic machine, replaying old patterns, habits, and beliefs. Bringing awareness allows you to interrupt that cycle and regain control. You cannot change something you're unaware of. That is why awareness is the first step to mastery. Once you become aware, the next step is to guide your mind instead of allowing it to run freely. The mind can be trained just like a muscle. You strengthen it through repetition and discipline. Positive thinking is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing a perspective that supports growth rather than destruction. When challenges come, instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? Train your mind to ask, what is this trying to teach me? That shift alone turns obstacles into opportunities. Emotions are also a reflection of the mind. When your thoughts are unstable, your emotions become unstable as well. You cannot control situations, but you can control your response to them. When the mind learns to remain calm, you gain power. Calmness is not a lack of emotion. It is emotional maturity. It is the ability to stay grounded even when the world around you becomes chaotic. A calm mind sees clearly. A restless mind sees confusion. Your environment plays a major role in shaping your mind. The content you consume, the conversations you engage in, and the people you surround yourself with all influence your thought patterns. If your environment is filled with negativity, complaints, and doubt, your mind will reflect that. But if your environment is uplifting, inspiring, and growth-focused, your mind will naturally grow stronger and more positive. Daily practices such as reflection, journaling, meditation, and mindful breathing help in gaining mental clarity. They create space in the mind, allowing thoughts to settle, emotions to balance, and decisions to become more thoughtful and less reactive. When you slow down your mind, you start seeing solutions instead of problems. Mastering your mind is a lifelong journey, not a one-time effort. There will be days of clarity and days of confusion. But consistency is what shapes transformation. Every time you choose calm over chaos, patience over impulse, growth over fear, you are strengthening the command you have over your own inner world. When you learn to master your mind, you no longer live life out of reaction. You live life out of intention. And that is where true power begins. Gratitude is one of the most transformative attitudes a person can develop, and yet it is often overlooked. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, achieve more, and acquire more, we sometimes forget to appreciate what we already have. Gratitude shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance. It allows us to see life not through the lens of what is missing, but through the beauty of what is present. When gratitude becomes a daily practice, it does not just change how we think, it changes how we feel, how we act, and how we relate to others. Many people believe they will start feeling grateful once life becomes perfect or once they achieve something big. But gratitude is not a result of happiness. It is the cause of happiness. When you learn to appreciate the smallest joys, such as the ability to breathe, the food you have, the people who care for you, the lessons you've learned, your heart begins to open in ways that material success alone can never do. Gratitude softens the mind and strengthens the spirit. It teaches you to find peace in the moment rather than endlessly chasing what is next. Gratitude also has the power to transform your mental and emotional well-being. When you actively practice gratitude, your mind begins to release stress and tension. You stop comparing your journey with others. Jealousy and envy start fading away. You begin to recognize that life is not a competition. It is a personal journey. You are on your own path, and the blessings meant for you will never go to someone else. Gratitude keeps you grounded and centered, reminding you that every experience, whether pleasant or difficult, has value and meaning. It is important to understand that gratitude does not mean pretending that everything is perfect or ignoring challenges. Rather, it is the awareness that even within challenges, there is something to learn, something to gain, and something to appreciate. For example, difficult moments often reveal the strength we did not know we had. Pain teaches resilience. Failure teaches wisdom. Loss teaches the importance of presence. Gratitude allows us to recognize growth even in struggle. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is that it strengthens relationships. People who express gratitude tend to attract more kindness, compassion, and love. When you acknowledge the efforts of others, no matter how small, you make them feel seen, valued, and respected. This deepens trust and connection. Gratitude also teaches humility, the understanding that you are not self-made. Every achievement is supported by countless hands, known and unknown. From family to friends, teachers to mentors, even strangers who have helped you without knowing your name. Gratitude reminds you that life is a shared journey. Developing gratitude is not difficult, but it does require consistency. It starts with awareness. Take a moment each day to reflect, what went right today? Who contributed to your smile? What lesson did life offer you today? Even on the hardest days, there is always something to acknowledge. A warm meal, a quiet moment, a chance to try again. By recognizing these gifts, your mind learns to shift from complaining to appreciating. Writing down your blessings is a powerful habit. The human mind tends to forget positive moments and hold on to negative ones, but when you record what you are grateful for, you train your mind to remember joy. Over time, gratitude becomes not just something you practice, but something you embody. It becomes a natural way of seeing the world. Gratitude strengthens your emotional resilience. It helps you remain calm in chaos and hopeful in uncertainty. It reminds you that life is not defined only by what you receive, but also by how you receive it. When gratitude fills your heart, even ordinary days feel meaningful. Life becomes richer, deeper, and more fulfilling. You begin to realize that happiness was never far away. It was simply waiting for you to notice it. The people we surround ourselves with play a powerful role in shaping who we become. Whether we realize it or not, our environment influences our mindset, our habits, our confidence, and even our dreams. Human beings are deeply affected by those they interact with on a regular basis. When we spend time with individuals who inspire growth, positivity, and purpose, we naturally begin to develop those qualities within ourselves. On the other hand, when we stay around those who carry negativity, lack ambition, or constantly complain, their mindset slowly becomes ours too. Choosing the right company is not about judging others. It is about protecting our energy, our goals, and our emotional well-being. Every conversation has an impact. Every relationship plants seeds. Some seeds blossom into strength, confidence, and clarity, while others grow into doubt, fear, and confusion. If the voices around you tell you that your dreams are too big, that your goals are unrealistic, or that you are aiming too high, over time you may begin to believe them. This is why it is crucial to surround yourself with people who encourage you to rise, who believe in your potential, who challenge you to grow, and who remind you of who you are capable of becoming. Supportive company does not flatter you, it elevates you. The right people will not only celebrate your achievements, but they will also guide you during failure. They will not compete with you, but rather stand beside you. They will not pull you down when you are low, but lift you higher. Such relationships are rare and precious, and when you find them, they deserve to be nurtured. True friends and mentors help you see the best in yourself, even during the times when you struggle to see it. At the same time, it is important to recognize when certain relationships are draining your energy or limiting your growth. Some people may not intentionally harm you, but their mindset, habits, and lifestyle may not align with the person you are striving to become. Distance does not always mean disrespect. Sometimes it means self-preservation. When you choose peace, clarity, and self-respect over forced connections, you create space for better relationships to enter your life. You do not have to remove people with anger or conflict. You can simply choose to invest more time with those who inspire your highest self. Growth requires courage, and part of that courage is the willingness to outgrow certain environments. Not everyone you start with will stay with you throughout your journey. Your path will evolve, your priorities will change, and your identity will develop. Some relationships will naturally fade, and that is not a sign of betrayal. It is a sign of progress. You are allowed to move forward. You are allowed to choose differently. Are allowed to protect your future. One of the most meaningful steps you can take towards shaping your environment is actively seeking mentors, role models, or individuals who are already living the kind of life you admire. Spend time learning from them, observing their habits, understanding their mindset, and absorbing their wisdom. Growth is contagious when you are surrounded by growth-minded individuals. Ultimately, your company influences your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your actions. When you surround yourself with people who are driven, positive, and aligned with purpose, you naturally begin to move in the direction of purpose. When your circle is strong, your character grows strong. When your environment is uplifting, your confidence expands. When the people around you reflect the values you aspire to live by, your journey becomes more meaningful, powerful, and fulfilling. Learning is a lifelong journey, not a destination that one arrives at and completes. The world is constantly evolving, and to remain relevant, effective, and fulfilled, one must be willing to evolve along with it. Knowledge is not just acquired in classrooms or through formal education. It is gathered through experiences, conversations, observations, and self-reflection. When you embrace continuous learning, you open the door to personal growth, mental expansion, and deeper understanding. Every new skill you develop and every new perspective you gain shapes who you are becoming. A common mistake many people make is believing that once they achieve a degree, a job, or a certain milestone, their learning is complete. But success is never final, and growth does not end with accomplishment. The moment you stop learning, you begin to limit yourself. Curiosity is the fuel that keeps the mind sharp and the spirit alive. It prevents stagnation and encourages creativity. Those who are committed to learning remain adaptable, resilient, and open-minded. They are prepared to face new challenges because they continuously expand their capabilities. Learning is not always easy. It requires humility. The humility to accept that no matter how much you know, there is still more to understand. It requires patience, as mastery does not happen overnight. It requires effort and consistency, as progress is gradual. But the rewards of continuous learning are profound. You begin to understand the world more clearly, you develop the ability to communicate with confidence, and you gain insight into different perspectives and cultures. Learning deepens your wisdom, allowing you to make more thoughtful decisions and understand yourself on a deeper level. The world is filled with opportunities to learn. Every book you read adds new dimensions to your thinking. Every meaningful conversation introduces new ideas. Every experience, whether positive or challenging, teaches valuable lessons. Even mistakes become teachers when you approach them with awareness rather than frustration. When something does not go as expected, instead of blaming circumstances or giving up, ask yourself what the situation is trying to teach you. Growth emerges from reflection, not reaction. Continuous learning also strengthens your professional and personal integrity in any field, whether business, art, science, leadership, or service. Those who keep learning stay ahead. They become innovators instead of imitators. They create solutions rather than wait for them. They recognize that improvement is always possible and that mastery comes from constant practice. In relationships, learning builds empathy and emotional intelligence. It helps you understand others better and respond with patience, kindness, and clarity. The desire to learn keeps life meaningful. It keeps the mind young, regardless of age. It encourages resilience because a person who is always learning views failure not as an end, but as a step forward. They understand that every challenge carries a lesson, and every lesson contributes to growth. When you commit to learning, you begin to value progress more than perfection. You recognize that becoming better is more important than proving you are already enough. Consistency is the key. You do not need to memorize everything or learn everything at once. You simply need to take small steps every day. Read a little more, listen deeply, observe carefully, practice regularly, ask questions, seek knowledge with sincerity. Over time, these small habits compound into wisdom and expertise. Learning expands your possibilities. It empowers you to shape your life, strengthen your identity, and walk your journey with greater confidence and clarity. When you commit to continuous learning, you do not just grow, you evolve. Believing in your journey means honoring your pace, your timing, and your path without letting comparison weaken your self-worth. In a world where people constantly showcase achievements, milestones, and success online, it becomes easy to doubt your progress. You may begin to ask yourself why others seem ahead while you feel stuck. But real growth is rarely visible from the outside. It happens quietly, internally, through challenges, mistakes, healing, learning, and persistence. Every person's journey is unique. No two stories are the same, and therefore, comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10 is not only unfair to yourself, but also damaging to your potential. Believing in your journey requires trust. Trust that where you are right now has meaning. Trust that the struggles you face are shaping your character, and trust that the effort you are putting in, even when invisible, is creating a foundation for something greater. Growth does not always show results immediately. Seeds grow roots long before they break the surface. In the same way, you may be developing strength, patience, discipline, and resilience long before the outward success appears. Just because the results are not visible yet does not mean progress is not happening. Life unfolds in seasons. Some seasons are meant for growth, some for learning, some for healing, and some for preparation. When you understand this, you stop forcing everything to happen quickly. You learn to embrace the process. Rushing creates pressure. Trusting creates peace. You do not have to prove your worth to anyone. Your journey is not a race. It is a personal evolution. Believing in your journey also means believing in yourself. It means knowing that your dreams were planted in your heart for a reason. They are not mistakes or coincidences. They are signals of who you are capable of becoming. Even when others do not understand your vision, even when circumstances seem unfair, even when progress feels slow, you must hold faith in your purpose. Confidence does not mean you never doubt. It means you move forward despite the doubt. There will be moments when life tests you, when plans fail, when people misunderstand you, or when you feel alone in your efforts. But these moments are part of the shaping process. Diamonds are created under pressure, not comfort. Strength is built in struggle, not ease. The challenges you face are not meant to stop you. They are preparing you for what you asked for. Every setback holds a lesson. Every delay holds protection. Every difficulty holds wisdom. Avoid comparing your life to others. Comparison steals joy, drains motivation, and blinds you to your own progress. You only see the success others show. You do not see the silent work, the failures, the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, or the emotional battles behind their achievements. Your story is unfolding exactly as it needs to, at the pace that is right for your personal growth. Celebrate your small improvements. A small step forward is still progress. A slow journey forward is still movement. Be patient with yourself. Surround yourself with people who support your dreams and remind you of your potential. Speak kindly to yourself. Encourage yourself the way you would encourage a friend. Self-belief is not arrogance, it is respect for your own effort and acknowledgement of your capability. The more you believe in your journey, the more life begins to align in your favor. When you trust your timing, work consistently, stay patient, and remain focused, everything you are working toward will begin to take shape. Your journey is not just about reaching a destination. It is about who you become along the way. And who you are becoming is powerful, strong, resilient, and capable, whether you see it yet or not. So my friends, if you want to win in life, remember, discipline, mastery over the mind, gratitude, good company, and continuous learning. Victory is not in running fast, victory is in running with purpose. You don't need to be perfect, just consistent. Begin with small steps, and life itself will lead you to greatness. Because winners are not born, winners are made by their mindset, by their actions, and by their choices. Thank you.